We're here for another game of survival. Today we're going to be playing on veteran mode and enabling all the options because without them the game becomes impossibly hard. Starting out, survival is extremely tedious. It takes forever to actually do anything. So we'll just go ahead and skip this part in a moment. I believe it's incredibly important to, as soon as you get the research for the deployer, you go ahead and build them. However, don't build them here, go ahead and build them where you actually want them. Here I made the mistake and I built them right in front of my base instead of sending the deployer to the location because the deployer is actually so much faster than the, well, unless you put a bunch of thrusters on it and everything. Anyways, we're going the slow route here, and but future reference. I'm using the pre-con of that ship. However, it's also important. I've been not doing the pre-con my later games. Yes, this is kind of an old recording, but it's fine. So yeah, what I'm doing now is actually just sending the deployer, building one block, building another block, and then just putting a very simple design just with the resource collectors only. Doing it this way I find incredibly efficient. Before the last patch, thankfully they fixed it. The resource collectors now actually, along their path, if they see a resource collector, mobile resource collector, they will no longer actually go to the base and will now actually head to the resource drops that are closer. And so we're going to initiate our first combat here. I'm going just with the winged fighter approach, and that seems to be extremely effective. Reinforcements are always important. As we go through the course of the game, gradually the enemy ships will be upgraded. They'll keep on sending the upgraded ones. So you need to either keep on upgrading your own, or just think about upgrading your fleet with the more advanced and larger warp ships. However, I find that that is highly ineffective in this game, as they are slow. You can't upgrade them besides the basic upgrades. So I actually recommend that you don't do that. You just go ahead and build modular ships with the custom weapons. They really need to improve that feature. The minigun ships don't feel impactful. The warships don't really feel that impactful. However, what they have over the utility ships is that they can be upgraded through the research. So maybe they're better in the later tiers of research. However, the later tiers of research, I don't actually see the utility ships, the custom utility ships, actually improve in speed, or in health, or in weapon damage. Now that it's been a while since we've won combat, we are going to go ahead and move on and try to see about the next wave and or scout. However, there's a problem. You need to actually leave one ship behind in order to see the scavenge field that's left behind for the research, for the resources, etc. In this game, I decided to build a forward operating outpost, something that will build the fighters up front instead of having them come from behind. And here we narrowly avoided a possible attack versus the support ship that we've deployed. Just like everyone, I'm majorly hoping for the multiplayer to come out for this game. That's going to be pretty outstanding, but we need some kind of voice. We definitely need some kind of voice over IP if we're going to have multiplayer. That would be outstanding. With the amount of times I've played this map, you'd think I know where the enemy base is. I know that I do, but I just can't find it. Anyways, we're just doing some scouting with the scout ships, and I'm pretty sure it's right here, but I can't find it. I don't know. Anyways, looks like we have an attack in the rear, and it's doing a little bit of damage, but we'll fend it off. After all that scouting, it looks like we did discover finally the one enemy base right here, but it's not the main. I know it's not the main, but let's go ahead and try to kill it. We went the route of killing the turrets first this time around. It seems to be a good idea, but as I later found out, the ships that actually deploy from it come from the there's an actual factory on the thing, which I didn't realize. But hey, live and learn. We'll go ahead and do it next time. Lo and behold, once I found that secondary base, I finally located the enemy stronghold. So we're going to go ahead and gather our forces and initiate an attack versus it. After, of course, this secondary base here stopped distracting me, after a little decision making, I decided to just go for the core instead of going for killing the outer defenses. One very good thing after defeating a base like that, it's good to go ahead and try to not only mark it with one fighter, it's also good to send your fleet in of salvagers and salvage. Here we're going to go ahead and move our main primary base to closer so we can properly salvage the area. What would be nice, and I do see this as a problem, only your home ship can collect salvages from a resource field. There could be instead a module that you can equip on one of your modular ships that can either initiate docking procedures with it and or have it also be a salvaging drop-off point. One other major issue that I found is your command ship, your main ship. If you have it go too fast, your salvagers can't catch up and dock with it and or dock with the resource points on it. Here I see that we never actually collected our mission resources, which can be pretty important later on in the game. I highly suggest that you just go ahead and forget about the missions until later on in the game when you really need it, when resources become scarce or you have an emergency, that sort of thing. At this point in the game, it's great to have a jump drive. Just go ahead and close these distances, especially on these large maps. Something that I continuously forget to do. I just need more experience, I guess. I do normally forget. However, this game, I just so happen to remember to build a jump drive earlier. So, we can jump and have the command ship salvage away. On these very large maps, it becomes increasingly hard to find a good concentration of resources, thankfully. Salvaging wrecks, amazing. Instead of going directly to the enemy base, we decided to attack this outpost here. I think that may have won me the game. It gave me the resources that I need to reinforce my fleet one final time in order to attack the enemy base. However, hey, since I took so long, more enemies spawned. So let's go ahead and deal with those and move on to the enemy base with a full army. More reinforcements, more! And after that engagement, it's time to bring in the salvagers. And away we go! And just like that, we have another resource field to collect. As we're nearing completion of this one, we'll go ahead and initiate that one. You always want to leave a fighter behind, though, to secure the location and make sure that you know exactly where it is, because you can get pretty lost in this game. And finally, in conclusion, we have located the enemy base again, and we'll initiate the attack. I decided to just go straight on, skip the turrets. Let's go ahead and destroy the core. I don't know which base it is. Maybe it's both, maybe it's one, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and try and defeat that core and see where it gets us. One suggestion that I do have for the game in its entirety, when you're defeating an enemy base like this, that I can just go directly for the core. I don't like that. I'd much rather it be that you have to go section by section to eventually defeat the core. And to my surprise and dismay, I win. Pretty anticlimactic if I say so myself. Please leave a comment. That's the most important thing that I like, but of course like the algorithm. Okay, thank you.